Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm excited to bring you a blind buy haul. Now these are fragrances. I wanted to kind of check out some more Middle Eastern fragrances because, as you know, I love Swiss Arabian. Like, I've got SHAGHAF Oud Florence. Love those fragrances. I love Jasmine Whisk by RASASI. So I kind of wanted to explore a little bit, so I got a few ones that I had never sniffed before, and I thought I'd share them with you. So before we get started, I recorded another version where I was just, you were seeing my blind buy sniff reaction. I thought it was kind of a boring video, so I wanted to just come on and, like, I've played with these for a day now and kind of share my experience because I thought that would be more helpful. And honestly, like, it's fun to watch people open up fragrances and sniff it for the first time, but I'd rather have just a little bit more information, so hopefully this will be helpful for you. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. I would love to have you part of the community, and if you are coming back all the time to watch, thank you so much. I appreciate you majorly, and welcome, and let's get started. So yeah, there's two here that I'd heard quite a lot about, and then one that I'd hardly heard anything about, but it was kind of a newer release to me, so I wanted to talk about it. So I'm going to start with the one that I was most familiar with, and that is ALHAMBRA's Amber Oud Gold Edition. Now, I had heard about this one from Annalicia MM. She was the first one to talk about this, and she just made it sound so amazing. So I wanted to give it a go. Now, since then, I've heard, like, I started just watching reviews specifically on this fragrance, and that's what I'll do a lot of times, is I'll just seek out reviews specifically on the fragrance that I'm interested in to kind of get a feel for it, because blind buying is a bit of a rush, a bit of a gamble, but I'd rather have a great idea of whether I'm going to like something or not before I go ahead and get it. So heard lots about this one. This one apparently is very similar to ERBA PURA by XERJOFF. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyway, this is apparently kind of a dupe for it. So I wanted to give it a try. Now this one, it's supposedly like quite fruity. It's got melon in it. It's supposed to be great for the summer. So yeah, that's what I learned about it. Now I'm just gonna spray this. I'm just gonna spray this here. Whoop. Now this one, I definitely get that juiciness off the top. I get a little bit of that melon. I wished I got more, but I believe there's pineapple in this one too. Definitely smell the pineapple. My husband, like, I put this on yesterday. Actually, the mistake that I had in trying these out was I was so excited, came on, sniffed them all on camera. I was in a rush, so I smelt them all and was like, oh, you know. But then when I got, like, I went out, I came back and I thought, okay, well, I want to really sample them on my skin. So I sprayed all three of these. And if you have tried Middle Eastern fragrances, like, they are powerhouses. So I put three completely different fragrances on all at the same time, and I thought I was going to be sick. Like, it was bad, people. It was bad. Like, it was just overpowering, way too much of everything. It was basically like I put every fragrance on possible, and I was just completely choked out, ended up with a headache, felt really sick. But when I got my husband to smell this on my skin, the first thing he said was, honey and cigarettes. That's what he noticed. And I totally understand that. Now, when I smelt this one, I thought to myself, it's similar to something. And I'm like, what's it similar to? So then I thought, it's similar to one of my fragrance Dubois, and I thought at first it was Siberian Rose, but then it turned out that it was Milano, that it was a lot more similar to. Now this one has more of that cigarette-y vibe, a smokier vibe with the leather, but I'm like, am I imagining it, or are these similar? Like, they're not dupes or anything, but there's a similar vibe going on in them. And so then I looked it up because I knew this one was supposed to be kind of similar to Yerba PURA. So then I looked up on Fragrantica Milano, and same thing. It actually, a lot of people find that this one is similar to Yerba PURA. So I wasn't crazy. These two are similar. This one's definitely more smoky and cigarette-y. This one has more fruit. Like, both of these have fruits. This one has more fruit. Now, I haven't given this a full wear test, so I can't tell you. I hear that the longevity is fantastic on this, so I will be trying it later. But for now, like, this is nice. My problem with it is that I already have this, which I enjoy, so now I've got two bottles that are similar. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. So this wasn't like, oh, wow, this is amazing. I haven't smelt it before and I'm so excited to have it. It smells really similar to a few different ones I have in my collection. So yeah, that said, the bottle is gorgeous. It's super heavy. Like, I just can't believe the quality of the bottle, and the quality of the fragrance is very beautiful. The more I smell this one, the more I'm smelling that fruity, pineapple-y melon. And I'm really excited to try this one in the summer. So overall, it's not like I'm like horrified by the fragrance because it's nice, but I'm going to have to play with it more because to me it's just so similar to other ones that I have. The next fragrance I got is by RASASI. Now, Jasmine Wisp is by RASASI, and so I was really excited to try this one out. And it's called Nikkiajoycosmetices. Okay, having trouble. Nikkiajoycosmetices SHAGHAF Perfume. I know I butchered that, but again, bottle, super nice, thick, like it's nice. The cap, this is a plastic cap, but it's looks really thick and sturdy, so I'm impressed with the packaging. Now the fragrance on this one, I sprayed it on my hand earlier today, so like at 9 o'clock in the morning, put it on. I can still smell it, although I would say the projection has died down now. It's quite a strong fragrance, and I'm not really sure I love it. So I had read on Fragrantica that it was really similar to Carolina Herrera, Good Girl. Lots of people commented about that, and then some said it was like Viva La Juicy, that it was like really fruity and amazing, and I love my fruity fragrances. So I tried this, even though Carolina Herrera's Good Girl has never been one of my favorite scent profiles. So to me, I put like Carolina Herrera, Good Girl, Black Opium, different fragrances like that, kind of all in the same category. And this would definitely be in that same genre. So, you know, a little bit, I think there's coffee in here with florals. So I put Black Opium on this side and the SHAGHAF Perfume on this hand. And I prefer SHAGHAF Perfume over Black Opium, but I'm not sure this is a winner for me. Definitely if you are a fan of Carolina's Good Girl, fragrances of that nature, you're gonna like this one. The price was pretty reasonable. I think it was $40, but it's not necessarily my favorite vibe. More of an evening fragrance. There's a sweetness to it, but it just smells quite synthetic to me. It's kind of smooth, so I'll play with this one a little bit. Like, I'm trying to like it because I bought it, basically. If you like the scent profile of Black Opium or the Good Girl vibe, you're gonna like this. I'm just not sure it's my favorite. So, like I said, I'll play with it a little bit more. Maybe I'll find that I like this one, but there's something about this one that's just making my stomach turn. Like, for whatever reason, maybe I'm just not feeling great, but like all of these fragrances just kind of made my stomach turn. Spoiler alert. Okay, now the next one, and maybe it's because I put them all on at the same time, which is so dumb, but typical of me in my exuberance. So Last perfume I have to share with you. This one is called KISMET for Men. Now the house of this one is ALHAMBRA, but it's actually under the umbrella of Lattafa. So ALHAMBRA, Maison ALHAMBRA is this, but it's a Lattafa fragrance. So KISMET for Men. Now, first of all, I wanted to show it to you in the box because it is spectacular. This is the, like, look at that. It looks like a niche fragrance. The packaging is like a niche fragrance. Like, I can't believe it. And this was, I think, $29. So the packaging is absolutely stunning, and this bottle is so gorgeous. It's extremely heavy. The cap is super heavy and it's metal, and then the sides have this awesome detailing on it. It's absolutely stunning. It does remind me of kind of Killian bottles a little bit. When I smell this, to be honest, this one was a bit disappointing for me too. So it's actually a really nice fragrance. It's super rich, but to me it leans more masculine than unisex. So unisex can run, some lean a little more feminine, some lean a little bit more masculine. This one runs a little more masculine in my opinion. So I don't know if I would really enjoy wearing this one on myself. That said, I think it's a nice fragrance. So the thing about this one, when I smell it on the paper, I get a booziness right off the bat, and I really enjoy it. When I spray it, and a little bit more of a sweetness. When I spray this on my skin, what I got was a lot of patchouli. So this one is kind of a patchouli bomb in my opinion, mixed with some vanilla. The notes say that it has coffee and cacao, and it sounds like right up my alley. Very little cacao, no coffee, mainly woody notes and patchouli is what I'm getting. And then in the deep dry down, I'm getting some vanilla. Now, the problem for me with this one is that to me, that patchouli smells a little bit barnyardy. Like it smells, I guess the word would be dirty. I've never really associated patchouli and dirty, and haven't really known what that is. I'm so sorry to those that love this, because I just think it's a beautiful bottle, and I was intrigued. It's one of those scents, like I put it on my hand and I'm like, kind of smells like poop. Kind of like it. Like, so it's just this weird thing. I grew up on a farm, and so I got to muck out the stalls, and all I could smell was the smell of hay and a little bit of manure, and I kind of like that smell. So I know that sounds gross, but like that barnyard type whatever, I kind of like sniffing it. But the thought of someone, like it being on me and someone smelling that and thinking, like, I smell manure. Like, I don't want that. Now, I'm not saying this smells like manure, but kind of to me. Yeah, I'm not getting the boozy sweetness that Nisha talked about and Barry talked about. I'm getting a lot of that, like, patchouli. Now, that said, I would enjoy smelling this on a man, so maybe I can convince my husband to wear it. This, to me, is not for a younger man, so so when I think of like masculine fragrances or unisex, for young men, I actually prefer unisex fragrances on them. I don't know why, but I just think it works better. Like, I'm thinking teens. Whereas this is more of a manly fragrance, you know, if you know what I mean, a little bit more rustic somehow. So I don't know if I'd want this on my son, or if he'd even find it palatable. Like, that's the thing. Now this one, I put it on just before I went to bed on my hand. I guess that's the thing, like when you blind buy something, like I always have this expectation in my mind of what it's going to smell like, and so when it doesn't meet that expectation, I end up being disappointed. So overall, the bottle is just stunning. Like, I cannot believe that this was under $30. because the bottle alone is just gorgeous. Like, I'm so impressed with this bottle and the presentation. Like this is what I expect when I'm getting a niche fragrance, is something like this, and this was $30. So I can't even believe just the presentation. It's just beautiful. This would make such a gorgeous gift. And if you have a patchouli fan in your life, this one I think would be something that they would really gravitate towards. I'm not writing this off. I don't hate it, but I'm not like totally like pumped about it. So out of all three of these fragrances, honestly, I'm really disappointed in all three. They're all nice, but just not what I was anticipating. And like I said, I made myself sick on them. So I need to give them a break, and then I will come back and revisit them, and you will see them likely in my weekly rotation at some point, and I will be able to give you more feedback on that. So that's it. Yeah, kind of anticlimactic. I'm kind of disappointed. Yeah, it made me really feel like I don't want to do any more blind buying for a long time, because I just, like, you know, okay, so it was like only 30 bucks, only 50 bucks, but in the end it ends up being like 140 bucks that you spend, and if you're not like loving them, it's not the greatest, and it's not as easy to sell these because people don't really know about them. That said, that's the risk you take when you blind buy, and there is a fun component to it because you don't know what you're going to get, and it's a little bit of a gamble, and when it works out, you're elated. When it doesn't work out as much, you're not as elated. But again, with Jasmine Wisp, when I smelled that at first, I'm like, eh. Velvet Vanilla, eh. So sometimes it takes me a while to warm up to fragrances, so I still have hope for all three of these. So yes, that's the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Have you tried any of these fragrances? And if you have, tell me what you think. And yeah, what is your latest blind buy that you're just really, really thrilled about to encourage me? Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.